very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch, a show that gives you all the latest news and updates from the digital ecosystem. I'm Priya Sheth. Thank you so much for logging in. Time now to get you all the top news stories that we've been tracking this evening. Well, marking its first investment into a venture fund, Reliance Industries has pumped in $100 million into early stage VC Kalari Capital. The investment has been made through Reliance's Digital Arm Geo platforms. Now, an additional $100 million is likely to be infused into Kalari Capital in the next 1 year. Well, moving on to the second headline of the day, US and India-based SaaS startup Impact Analytics has closed a $11 million growth financing round led by New York-based growth equity firm Argentum Capital Partners. Impact Analytics had secured a seed funding in 2016 led by early-stage VC firm RN Capital. Well, early-stage learning platform Kutuki has raised a seed round led by Nvidia Network India. Existing angel investors also participated in this round. Now, Kutuki will be using the funds for expanding the content library to cover almost all major Indian languages and to expand reach, especially in Tier 2 cities and beyond. Well, moving on to the final headline of the day, as part of its efforts to continue localizing the product and making audio streaming more accessible, Spotify will soon be launching in 36 new languages across the world, and this includes 12 languages in India. Spotify also plans to launch its next set of original podcasts in India very soon.
Well, moving on to our second segment, we have with us somebody who has been making waves in the investment world. We have with us Ash Narain, who is the founder of Marquee Equity. Many thanks for joining us on the Daily Dispatch on your story. First of all, I want to talk to you about your $3.8 million funding that was announced recently. Is this the first of many more fundraisers that we can expect in 2021?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, thanks very much for having us on your story. Greatly appreciated. Yes, this is the first of many announcements we could make about our clients successfully closing capital as a result of the use of our platform. So the current case in question raised close to $4 million. From a clutch of top-tier fintech investors in the US. And the client in question is a B2B payments company and has a whole service suite of offerings. Investors found it interesting. They closed capital pretty quickly, which we're seeing with deals in certain sectors and good traction proof points, not just in the US, but here in Asia and India as well. So yeah, it was a fintech company doing well, closed very, very quickly.
When you talk about the kind of funding environment in 2020, we had the pandemic and we had a lot of uncertainty in the market. So what is your assessment of how the investment scenario has sort of evolved from 2020 and stepping into 2021? What is the kind of change that you see?
Sure. Yeah, obviously, once the lockdowns happened across the country and indeed the world, there was a lot of confusion in the entrepreneurial as well as investor community about the ramifications of all of it. But there was a slowdown in the April to June quarter for sure. Deal volumes and values dipped by about 50% across the board. But a very, very strong comeback. Creation lies in destruction, if you will. So new business models emerged, new investment thesis emerged. So just to recap, 2020, the total funding amount invested in India was about $11 billion, which was it was a slight 10% dip from the previous year, 2019, and that was expected. It was expected to be a lot worse, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. The mega rounds definitely slowed down. People are much more diligent about deals in those stages now. And what we did see was a significant uptick in the seed and mezzanine bridge stage financings. So a lot of seed deals happened. Till 2019, there was a pattern of a slowdown of seed stage investments. They made a big comeback. In fact, over half the deals that happened last year were seed transactions, pre-Series A type of transactions. EdTech ruled the roost, fintech, EdTech, B2B SaaS, logistics. EdTech, in fact, surpassed e-commerce last year in terms of the number of deals as well as the investment amount invested. That was a change, but early stage financing definitely picked up. People are investing in new business models where they see entrepreneur market fits. So significant uptick in seed stage volume, slight slowdown in the mega round side of things. Expect that to continue this year as well.
Well, when you talk about what investors are really looking for at this point in time, and you connect many startups with investors, so you are having conversations on both the sides of the spectrum. So from the investor perspective, is there something specific that they are looking at, considering that at this point of time, it seems like there is a lot of money chasing startups?
Sure. Yes, more money than ever chasing startups, and it depends on the stage one is at. So if you were to just bifurcate investor interest by growth stage and early stage, as far as the early stage is concerned, valuations have held up surprisingly. A lot of that was not expected to happen. Seed stage valuations have held up. Investors are essentially looking for what they always used to look for, founder market fit, product market fit, early proof points, a good team. If people see that, they're pretty quick to close transactions, lead transactions, even in the latter half of 2020 and more so even now. However, as far as the larger growth stage deals go, there's a lot more due diligence now. People are taking much longer to close rounds vis-a-vis what it used to be a year ago. If one is raising a large amount of capital at a Series B, post Series B kind of level, one is recommended to begin their scouting process sooner than what one used to take. It will take, on an average 6 to 7, 8, 9 months in some cases to fully fill the round. And as far as the seed stage is concerned, advice remains the same. Find product that the market needs, build a good team around it, build some traction, and you'll find the investors.
What about exits? Talk to us about what kind of exits are likely to happen this year, and can we expect more exits to happen considering that valuations are holding up at this point?
Sure. M&A activity last year was slightly slower compared to the previous year. And that was expected. There was a lot of confusion both on the buy and sell side. And people put on hold a lot of conversations from that perspective. There was a lot of EdTech M&A happening last year. White Hat was the largest transaction that happened in India last year. So a lot of those pent up transactions that did not materialize are likely to materialize over the next 6 to 18 months. So you're likely to see an uptick in M&A this year, in my opinion. And I think it'll hold strong going forward as well. A lot of early stage companies have gotten financed. Over the next couple of years, they'll reach a stage where some of them will begin a consolidation process. I see a definite, 15 to 20% at the very least uptake in M&A activity, deal volume wise, deal size wise as well. This year, and I expect that to hold over the next couple of years. One last addendum to that. There's a lot of foreign interest in Indian companies, increasingly so, because increasingly the world's become more remote. People have found a legally compliant way to hire and work with remote teams. India presents an obvious cost arbitrage advantage to most other places in the world. So we're seeing a lot of buyer interest, even on our platform, from buyers in Europe, both strategic and financial buyers in Europe and North America, wanting to absorb Indian teams into an existing ecosystem. So I think that will lead to an uptick in valuations on the Indian M&A side as well.
A final question before I let you go on, the outlook for market equity going forward, considering that you all have a pipeline, I believe, of deals that are likely to go through. So what is the outlook like and what can we expect going forward?
Sure. We're seeing a couple of dozen transactions close on our platform each quarter. So that's a lot. Some of which we're allowed to announce. Others, our clients would like us to take our time announcing, especially rounds that haven't fully closed. But yes, a lot more announcements coming from our side about successful fundraisers. And as our team grows, we're 45 people now. We should be about 80 people by the end of this year. Deal volume will increase, number of closures will increase. So hopefully you'll hear a lot more from us on the good side.
All right, looking forward to hearing all the good things in 2021. Wishing you all the very best for all the transactions that will go through in the year ahead. Thank you so much for being a part of Daily Dispatch.
Absolute pleasure, Priya. Thank you for having me.
Time now to say goodbye. Many thanks for joining us on this edition of Daily Dispatch. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Take care and stay safe.